How's it guys, Menashia, and today we have some rank 3 Weapon X gameplay. So I took this guy up to rank 3, was it yesterday or the day before? But I only recently finished leveling him up because I was kind of hoping to get some more mutant ISO, so I don't have to use that much gold, but yeah, I just couldn't get enough in time. So I took him up to rank 345 anyway, and the first thing I did after that was go straight into the Abyss, because there's always a fight that I've wanted to try with him. And that's gonna be Abyss Quake, because that's the one 5.8 million health fight that's not too difficult to get to, where the opponent is not immune to bleed. Because I wanted to compare his bleed damage to Nick Fury's, because I also have a rank 3 Nick Fury. You might have seen him in some previous videos, he's a pretty cool champ. But yeah, so the reason why it had to be Quake and not Invisible Woman, which is actually easier to get to but doesn't have enough health, is because you can't fully ramp up or you can't get to that high bleed damage potential that Weapon X has, because he does have some very strong bleed potential, but it takes a bit of time to get to because individually the actual bleed debuffs themselves aren't that strong, but they can stack indefinitely and you can refresh them with your heavy attack. So as long as you can throw that heavy attack pretty regularly, you can maintain some extremely powerful damage over time, because it just keeps on rising. You apply more bleeds while maintaining the ones you already have. So there's nothing too particular about this Quake fight. In theory, you could do it with pretty much any champ, as long as they can crit regularly or apply some bleed debuffs regularly. That's just to deal with her abyssal ability, but otherwise nothing too specific. So I always knew that Weapon X would do well for this fight, but my goodness, I did not know. I had no idea that he could actually solo this fight. Yes, that's correct. Weapon X can solo a 5.8 million health fight in the Abyss, without any boosts, without any synergies, so none of that horseman stuff, and perhaps even without any suicides. I came pretty close without all of that stuff. I left her with about 360,000 health before I ran out of charges. But that's still over 5.7 million damage in one fight. If I had slightly better RNG, or if I played it a little bit slow at the end, I would have soloed. I just didn't think it was possible without any boosts, suicides, synergies, all that stuff. So I just played it like normal, I didn't actually try to maximize my damage over time by, playing it a bit slow and hitting her only when I need to refresh the debuffs. But if I did that, then it would have been a definite solo. If I had suicides, it would have been a definite solo. If I boosted with like a 10% attack boost, then probably would have been a solo as well. Basically what I'm trying to say is this is a very practical fight, and Weapon X might actually be the best counter for it. The only thing is not that many people have them, and the ones that do are probably mostly done with Abyss by now. But it was just really fun to try this fight, and I was just blown away by the damage. Although I will admit that the playstyle can be somewhat stressful. Just being able to maintain those bleeds is not always easy. There were definitely a couple of times where I got pretty scared that they were gonna fall off, but fortunately I got to refresh them just in time. But yeah, you basically just have to find as many windows to get in that heavy attack as you can, without pushing it to 3 bars of power, of course. And that might actually be the most difficult part, because Quake isn't that difficult to dex. But if she takes too long to throw that special 2, then the bleeds will eventually fall off, and you really don't want that. That just kills your ramp up and your mood. It's actually quite depressing when that happens. It's like when She-Hulk loses her Furies after you stacked a bunch of them. So you kind of want to optimize your openings for throwing that heavy attack. So I just parry medium heavy for most of the fight, kind of like playing Magneto. Then I try to bait her special 2 because it can be heavy punished quite easily. The only thing with baiting the special 2 is you kind of have to hope that you don't get unlucky, because if the AI is just playing too passive, then you can quite easily lose your bleeds. So I try to bait as soon as she has 2 bars of power, just so I can still parry heavy her if she's playing a bit too passively. One other thing that I could have done is max the Petrify Mastery, then I would be giving her 20% less power when I parry heavy, which could allow me to throw one more heavy when she's already at 2 bars of power. But I just couldn't be bothered. And it's not really a serious fight anyway, it's more just for testing and fun, I guess. And it still worked out pretty well. I didn't lose my bleed debuffs throughout the fight. It was only at the end where I literally had 4 hits left and she had 8% health left when I tried to play it a little bit slow by refreshing the bleeds only just before they would expire, just so I can maximize my damage over the few hits I had left. Then she just evaded my heavy attack and I lost all my bleeds, which was quite sad because it was looking very close. I mean, 8% left, 4 hits left. It could have been the most clutch Abyss solo I've ever had, like literally finishing the fight with 0 hits left. She goes unblockable and unstoppable, gains that power, then a few seconds later she goes down. I really wish that's how it went down. That would have been amazing, but yeah, not in this timeline, I guess. And this is actually the only fight I've ever done with Weapon X as a rank 3 6-star. I haven't even used him as a rank 2 or rank 1 before. So yeah, I haven't seen how he does in other content, still gonna test that out, but yeah, I just wanted to get this across because this is some very impressive damage over time, I must say. And I thought the rank 3 Fury did really well for this fight, got it down to about 37% in one fight. But Weapon X just blows Fury's numbers out the water, and Fury has class advantage here. The fact that Weapon X can refresh his bleeds with a 2-hit heavy attack just makes his damage per hit so much higher for Abyss type of fights. So yeah, that's all I have to say for this one. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, thank you for watching, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon.